have you here, Barbara.
Barbara, welcome being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. This is great fun.
So how did you end up owning the Goddard School to start with? What got you there?
Well, I'd been in corporate America for a long time, 30 years or so. Swam with the sharks, as I like to say. Did a lot of things, had a lot of success, but there was always this missing of emotional satisfaction with what I did. And I got some, but not like I really wanted. And I, like many people, had this idea that I wanted to own my own business. And have my own values, my own ethics, and and a chance to have more control over my life. So I had thought about a lot of things, but I told this story so many times. I found an article or saw an advertisement in the Wall Street Journal for the Goddard School. It's a franchise, and boy, that resonated with me. At that time, I had been involved with my grandchildren, looking for care for them, and I had gotten to kind of understanding some of the challenges there, some of what you have to go through, and the sense of leaving your child with somebody you can trust, and when you're wanting the best for them, and so forth. So I thought, boy, that is it. This is it. So we, at that time, were in Chicago with, I had been transferred up there. And we started looking for Goddard schools up there and possibly building one and that kind of thing. None of that worked out. They really weren't expanding into that market at that time. So, but they knew we were from North Carolina, and this school in Mooresville, North Carolina, was a resale. It had opened in August of '07, and the owner his wife and child did not want to move to the Mooresville at the end of the day. So it was kind of a both, good scenario. You don't have to go through the 18 months of building a school, and you get a new school, though, that is only 6 months old. So.
And you were from the Charlotte area anyway,
yes,
right? So it's like coming home. So that's perfect.
Well, it was coming home, and it was our time to come home, I think.
Excellent. So I heard you say that you had that aspiration of controlling your own life. Mm-hmm. How's that working out?
Well,
was it everything you hoped for?
Great question.
Well, I married the Goddard School, and now I... Yeah, and you were talking a little bit ago about, vacations and so forth, but you don't get those. And the people that have that idea, and I hear this a lot, I see this, and I'm sure you do too, Joe, I want my own business. And it's like, you better be careful what you ask for, and you better be ready, because I don't think anybody really ever is. You go into it with rose-colored glasses, regardless of how much people warn you. And boy, we did. I thought I knew a lot. I'd done a lot of sales, and that's mostly what I did, was sales and marketing, and had big sales teams and big goals, and I had these big spreadsheets, and I'm looking at, $10,000 is not that much, and now $100 is a lot.
Because it's your $100.
It's my $100. Right. You're right. You are right.
I see that so often, that corporate people, which are good, solid business people, but they miss the point. You really don't have any experience in small business. That would be like me trying to run your department. I don't have a clue. I'm a small business guy, right? So there really is a difference. It's kind of like somebody trying to operate a McDonald's or somebody trying to operate a high-end restaurant. It may be the same industry, but it's completely different skill sets required to run those. And you really do have to learn all of that. And unfortunately, you're learning it on the run.
You're learning it on the run. And the other thing, too, is I don't think people realize this. I was a business manager. I had several different business units within a larger corporation, and so I had my own controller. I had the payroll department and the HR department, and anything like that. I didn't have to worry about payroll, not even think about that unless somebody had a question about it. So all of a sudden, you were all those things, and the old. I think it was Staples, forgive me, commercial, but here Dave, and Dave is everything. Right. And I think that gets to what David was talking about this, you're inundated with all these tasks. And it's so hard to keep not letting that drive your day, drive your brain of all these things you have to do. And that's one of the things I still struggle with is the discipline that it takes to carve out the time to think about the business, to think about the strategies, to review where you're going and how you're going to get there when you're so busy about, well, I got to do payroll today. I got to, it's just in it. And David's been in my office, and we are inundated with all other things like we need ice on the playground.
Yes.
It's things like that makes it hard
I'm
to
curious, because of what you've been through, what's the advice you'd give somebody right now that is thinking about getting into a business of their own? What would you like to say to them that you think might be inspiring or helpful at some point?
I think you've got to do some real soul searching about why you want to do that, and also about with your spouse or significant other, because they're impacted as well. Are
Amen.
we ready to go into this together? And be ready to work 10, 12 hours a day, and know that it's not this magical thing of you think business have your own business, you're out on the lake and, you're not. You wish you could get on the lake.
Right.
But I think the big thing is to know what kind of grit you've got, because it's going to take grit to do it.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's great. That's great words with and it was Simon Sinek, right? Start with why. That's an awesome book, awesome TED Talk as well. Is starting with why. If your passion is enough, you can see your way through that. You can muster up that grit to push through if you through the ups and downs and really see those successes. But that's great advice. So, do you feel like you're out on your own, or what would you advise somebody to do as far as when you're in the trenches and fighting? We mentioned earlier about
fighting
the
through that
resources
discipline,
that
creating
are
your
out
own
there.
personal discipline. Yeah.
Do you have somebody you really look up to, or a mentor within the Goddard School, or somebody else that's kind of a go-to that's been helping you along the way?
Well, frankly, David, that's you.
Well, no, I didn't talk about. I was not talking
okay,
about
I
me.
see where this is going
no.
now.
But in all reality, it has been.
Yeah,
I tell my
yes.
story about David. He kept showing up in his, slow, kind of, hi there, I'm David, and hi, David, that's great. Why don't you go away? I've got things to do.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, hi, David, well, you're still around. Okay. Well, I'm struggling like the Dickens, and I'm working my, fingers to the bone till I have bony fingers, right? And so after a long
6
time,
months, yeah.
he finally came by and dropped the book off with me called The E-Myth. And boy, that was like the biggest mind opener. And because I always felt like I couldn't afford a coach, and I'm not doing a commercial for him, I promise. But I felt like I couldn't afford a business coach at that time. And yet, really, it turned out I could not afford to have a business coach. So really, he led me and our company through some really difficult times and provided us with some discipline and some re-looking at what we had and how to optimize the what we had. So, but as far as that, you do need a mentor. You do need somebody, because when you're a single business owner, you don't have peers. You carry all that by yourself, so you really need somebody that's detached that can help guide you.
I tell people all the time that from my vantage point, the biggest problem in a small business is the owner, right? So somehow you need to get out of your way. Now, you can hire David, or if you want, Joe can come by and beat you over the head with a bat. You decide what you want, right? But somehow you're going to have to get out of your own way and kind of look at the business through this different approach. And a coach is just a great way to do that. So that's some great advice.